Thank you everyone for joining us for today's presentation on the SBA 504 loan program. We're also going to have an SBA introduction, so you can learn more about that as well. So a little bit about the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center here. We are located in Northern California. We provide confidential, no-cost advisory and low to no-cost training service as well, just like this one. Our center here, our network, we're supported by Cal Poly Humboldt, and then our local office is run by the Siskiyou Economic Development Council. We are primarily funded by the SBA as well as the state of California. And see, so next up here, we have a list of our local experts, our advisors, lots of different specialties, whether it's QuickBooks, funding, information, marketing, starting a business, etc. And then we also have access to advisors throughout our network as well. And I do want to go ahead and mention now, and we'll get you information for this later, but if you're located outside our area of Shasta, Trinity, and Siskiyou counties here in Northern California, there is an SBDC office that serves every county in the U.S. So we'll get you information on how to find your local SBDC if you're not up here locally. All right, so just a little bit about what we've done over the past couple of years. And this information is just for Shasta and Trinity counties. So even that, we're seeing assisted over 19 million in loans and equity, help lots of entrepreneurs start their business, see sales increase, etc. So really proud of all of that. All right, so we do have to read this disclaimer before we get going. So the information provided in this webinar and any supplementary materials provided to registrants are intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional, financial, or legal advice. No registrant should act or fail to act on the basis of any material contained in this webinar without obtaining proper financial, legal, or other professional advice specific to their situation. The Northern California Small Business Development Center and its host, the Cal Poly Humboldt Sponsored Programs Foundation, specifically disclaims any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence, directly or indirectly, of the use and application of any of the information presented in this webinar. And so our agenda for today is that we're going to go over some SBA information. So if you're not familiar with SBA, you'll get more information on that. And then we'll also go over specifically the 504 loan program. That's through the SBA. All right, so I think I'm going to hand it off to Joe. He's our primary presenter today. So I will leave it off to you.
Thanks, Emily, very, very much. Welcome, everyone. Joe Rodola. I'm the money guy up here at Shasta-Cascade SBDC. And as you can see, when you add up these totals, I think I'm, about 102 or something? So look pretty good for 102. That's what I always like to put it. But as you can see, basically, I've been in the credit industry my whole life since I got out of college. So I'm a credit guy. So the neat part about this is you're getting the word from somebody who believes in this program and actually used to make these loans or participated in making these loans before these fancy pieces of equipment even existed. Yes. Dinosaur days, we call them, where we had to mail out the packages. Now we have the computers. And we also have with us a wonderful presenter from SBA, Oksana Zubritska. Did I get it close, Oksana?
Yes, perfect. Right from the first time.
There you go. And she'll be presenting the first section about our wonderful SBA.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm Outreach and Marketing Specialist with the Small Business Administration Sacramento District Office. And we're the smallest federal agency and dedicated to supporting small businesses. community. And we have quite few things to offer to small business owners, startups, entrepreneurs in terms of support and funding. Our district covers 21 northeastern interior counties of California, and there are other 5 districts across our state. So they can also assist you if you happen to be located outside of our district. And there is a total of 68 other districts across the country, and we're one of them. So if you don't happen to live in our area, you're welcome to go to our website. It's sba.gov/local-assistance, a website when you will be able to find local resources and assistance with your small business needs. So we work on 4 different areas. The first is technical assistance, or I also call it entrepreneur development. That's the access to capital. Second one, government contracting and disaster assistance. So the technical assistance or entrepreneur development, SBA Resource Partner Network, it consists of different nonprofit organizations throughout the district, and those organizations directly serve small businesses, and they provide one-on-one counseling, training services at no cost or low cost. They have lots of different webinars and training for you. We work with the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, Women's Business Center, Veterans Business Outreach Centers, and to provide counseling. And SBA Partner Network consists again of different nonprofit organizations. They have different expert advisors. They can assist you with a broad array of business needs. So I advise you go on their website and subscribe to their newsletters. And once you will subscribe, you will receive updates on different grant opportunities, programs that the state, county, city may offer in your local area, and any other updates on different events and programs they do in the area. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about each of these local partners. So the Small Business Development Center, they have industry-specific advisors. They can assist entrepreneurs, startups, and existing businesses with starting their business and scaling different strategies. So Women's Business Center, they have comprehensive training and counseling. Their center focuses more on supporting women's entrepreneurship to launch their business and to compete in the marketplace. But again, their services, they're not only limited to women, they're open to everyone, especially their different classes, trainings, and workshops. The next, SCORE, and since 1964, SCORE has helped more than 11 million entrepreneurs to start and grow their business and successfully exit the business as well. SCORE's database has about 10,000 different volunteers. Those volunteers on their website, they provide free and expert mentoring, different resources, education in all 50 states of California and its territories, and the United States territories. They do have lots of recorded webinars on different topics, and if you will explore more their website, they have different templates for how to start your business and for existing businesses as well, lots of templates. And last, I would like to mention VBOC, a Veterans Business Outreach Center. It's for military or spouses of military. And VBOC offers different workshops, trainings, counseling, and mentorship opportunities in your area. VBOC Center can also refer you to a partner lender or SBA program. And VBOC also provides assistance and training in such areas such as international trade, if you're interested, franchising, internet marketing, accounting, and many more. So the next area we do assist it's access to capital, and on the slide you see the link to different loan programs that we offer. Our standard loan programs, they're available to assist small businesses and startups as well. They're most widely used programs in California. Those loans to startups and for existing businesses. So today we'll be talking more in details with Joe about 5-4 program, but I would like to mention our microloan program. So for those of you, if you're in micro business and if you're just starting a business, we have a smaller loans for you, and maybe you just need up to $50,000. We have the micro loans. So microloans are available to our mission-based partners, and one of those partners in our area is the Opening Doors. And if you will click on the link, and I believe you will receive those slides after the presentation, if you will there is the lender match form that's also available on our website where you can find lenders. For the micro lenders, you can also type your zip code and find what are the other micro lenders in California. So the next program I would like to highlight, it's our 7A loan guarantee program. They offer loans from $5,000 and up to $5 million for various purposes. And so it's including you can spend on a working capital, commercial real estate. Also for the 7A loan guarantee program, veterans fee are waived on all 7A express loans. So almost every lender in our Sacramento district participates in the SBA program. What you will need to do at a small business to get the SBA guarantee loan. So you will need to reach out to the bank you know and like. You can ask them if they participate in a 7A loan guarantee program, and you can ask about additional information, documents, and that you would like to apply. The second option, we also have a lender match form that you can fill out on our website, sba.gov, and then there is a short questionnaire form you will fill out online, and one of the lenders from the community will reach out to you. And the next program I just would like to highlight briefly, it's a 5-4 loan program. So we'll be talking with Joa today in more detail. It's for acquisition, construction of commercial real estate, and acquisition of heavy equipment. So 5-4, it's a partner program for small businesses. The third-party lender will provide 50% or more of the financing. CDC provides up to 40% of the financing through the 5-4 debenture. It's a guarantee 100% by SBA. And the applicant, the borrower, so your own down payment, like injection, will be at least 10% of the financing. So those funds that we collect from for SBA debentures are pooled funds from the investors. So they will let you know what interest rate you're going to be paying for that. And all programs I'm covering here today, I'm just giving you a high-level overview of them. And if you'd like to get more details on each of those loan programs, funding programs, you can go to the sba.gov/loans to get more information. And also, my advice is to connect with a Small Business Development Center to get that free counseling and speak with a consultant in regard to those programs. So the third area that we assist is the federal contracting. 23% of our purchases are made from small businesses. So in addition to that, there is a set-aside program specifically that help economically disadvantaged small businesses. So maybe if you're thinking you've been in business already, maybe 2-3 years, and you're thinking of expanding your business, maybe a federal contracting, this is something for you. So I encourage you first go to our website, sba.gov/contracting, and you'll see the link on the slide. And answer a questionnaire that will help you to determine if you're ready to do the government contracting, because there is a little bit paperwork involved and a different type of certifications you need to go through. So, and it's nice to have that information and follow the questionnaire before you apply for set-aside contracts and before you start all the certification process. So the question you might ask you questions, are you suitable for government contracting? Or does the federal government buy what you sell? Do you have government contracting experience? Do you have the adequate cash flow, inventory, working capital? Questions like that. Also would like to mention surety bond guarantee program. So surety bonds help small businesses win contracts by providing the customer with a guarantee that the work will be completed. And many public and private contracts require surety bonds, which are offered by surety companies. So to get more information on a bond guarantee fee, the eligibility, and how to find authorized agent, you can use the link on the slide. To get in more details. And the last area that the SBA assists small businesses. So it's the disaster COVID-19 relief different programs. So we're unable to accept new applications for the COVID-19 relief loans or grants. And we continue right now with the PPP, Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness process. And you probably heard of the COVID ADL loan that it's now requiring payment. It's not forgivable and it does have to be repaid. And you can go on our website I look for the My SBA Loan portal. Right now, it's the most preferred form of communication and submitting those payments. So again, you will be able to set up your account into My SBA Loan portal. And that portal, you can make payments and everything can be done right there for you to assist you. SBA only gives direct loans when it's a disaster loan. And we have different disaster declarations on our website. You can go and check if your county is in declared disaster. Okay, next slide, please. So this slide is on SBA contacts information. And it has lots of information. Let me break down for you a little bit. So I mentioned earlier today that we do assist with disaster loans. Again, those loans, the direct loans from federal government. You need to go to our website, and if it's the disaster declaration, it will be on our website under declared disaster county. So you will need to get there right there on the website and apply. You can also check what you will be eligible for in terms of property damage to your home or your business, as well as economic disaster loan or EADL. And on the slide, you see all the contact information to reach out for assistance. Okay, also we have in case you need to report identity theft, all the process, again, it's through My SBA Loan portal. Okay, so this slide, so for example, you're looking to start a business, expand your business. We have SBA learning tools such as the SBA Digital Learning Platform, Learning Center, and Ascend. It's the educational free online digital platform for women entrepreneurs and for all the startups. So you just can check the first link and go and see they have 12 different journeys, and each journey has different exercises, videos, chats, so you can utilize that program. So for example, if you need to brush on your business skills or take advantage of SBA digital platform, here are the resources for you. Also, you can see the SBA contact information. You can contact us via phone or via email. We're open only by appointment only, so you can send us email or give us a call to schedule appointment with us. We have the new platform. It's a LinkedIn where we post all the news updates that are going on in our community. If we have the SBA hosted events or we promote other events from the resource partners, please subscribe to our LinkedIn, our Twitter, so you will receive all the news and updates on the events. We also have the district calendar where you can sign up and register for those different events that's going on in the community. And I would like to highlight the SBA hosted upcoming events that will be in July happening. So you will need to have a Teams app, and all the events are listed on our website as well. And the last slide, so we'd like to know how we're doing, and it's very important to us. So you will receive those slides after the presentation, and you can scan the QR code either today or after you receive the slides and give us a little bit of a feedback. That's very short questionnaire, just a couple questions. So if you can determine a couple of minutes of your day and answer them, so it will assist us. And it was the last slide of my presentation, and let's see if we have any questions.
Okay, so it looks like not any questions at this time, but yeah, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll answer them later on.
Thank you, Oksana. That was fantastic. SBA is a wonderful group of people. Carrie and I, who's also on this call, go back a long time. Known her for years. She's come up to our Access Capital presentations for years and years, at least 10. And anyway, they're very important, obviously, in the SBA 504 loan program, aren't they? Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about it. It's one of my favorite loan programs offered through the SBA. Yeah, once you hear about it, you're just going to go, holy smokes. For a while, when I joined Superior California Economic Development, worked for them for a couple of years, I always immediately called this one of the best kept secrets in America. Not a lot of advertising was being done 12 years ago about the SBA 504 program. But once you now hear about it, either you or the people you know are going to want to actually talk more about this program. All right, so what is the 504 loan program? It's basically an operation that allows a small business to buy fixed assets. In other words, real estate, okay? Office buildings, there are certain requirements of what type of building you can buy. For instance, and Carrie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a rental apartment building where everybody is renting an apartment in the building normally does not qualify for the 504, right?
That's correct.
Okay. It's an owner-occupied program, really, okay? It's to buy a building and or equipment, large equipment, and of course, upgrades to the building if you have to fix it, that kind of thing, right? Change it around, upgrades and changes for a building that you're going to use mostly. We'll get into mostly in a minute, okay? And of course, that machinery that you might need to do what you're doing, especially if you're in manufacturing. If you're in manufacturing, you're buying a big building, you're going to probably need some equipment to do it, right? So that can be included in this program as well. And what's neat about it is the rates are normally a below market rate. And believe it or not, this thing's been around since 1958. How about that? A little after I was born, okay? So again, fabulous program. If you want a 504 loan, your business will have to meet requirements, of course, okay? First of all, you have to be a for-profit business. For-profit business. And there are certain types of businesses that cannot participate. Like if you're involved in lending, if you're involved in real estate investing, gambling, speculation, and of course, any illegal business. In other words, for sure right now, they can't fund the purchase of a building to sell cannabis, okay? Even though in the state of California, it is legal, federally, it is not. So there are certain things that you have to watch for. Okay, to qualify, the business applicants must have. So here you go. Tangible net worth of less than 15 million, average net income less than 5 million for the previous 2 years after federal taxes. Okay. Most of the small businesses in our community specifically, Siskiyou, Shasta, and Trinity, don't have any problems meeting these numbers. A small business, believe it or not, isn't, in my opinion, that small. In other words, you could be like a semi-big business as far as I'm concerned. So it's pretty cool. It has a lot of coverage, in other words, okay? All right, so depending on the purpose of intended, the borrower must immediately occupy. Now here's kind of the stickler information, right? Borrower must occupy 60% for new construction of that particular square footage of the building, up to 80% within 10 years of ownership. So basically, you're going to build something. They want you to be building it for your business, your company, and your future. Okay? You have to occupy at least 51% of a building and whatever, for the purchase or renovation of an existing building, all right? Or 51% of leasehold property. There's rules and regs. I don't want to get into too much detail, but suffice it to say, 51% or more, you got to have it, you're going to be using it, okay? And it's basically done by square footage, okay? Who's going to have the most square footage usage? So like some programs on the housing market, are for owner-occupied properties, not rentals. That's on the housing side. This is on the business side, very similar. Owner occupancy and owner usage is important. Okay. So how are these loans done? A CDC, there's a couple of acronyms that the CDC might stand for, but this one's Certified Development Company. So this is a different CDC, right, than the other one. So CDC, Certified Development Company, will coordinate and structure the financing package. Now, I worked with a CDC, Superior California Economic Development here in Redding. In 2012, I started, okay, early 2012. And that's when I really began to relearn, after being out of the banking industry since 1995, I was able to relearn the 504 loan program and how cool it was. The gentleman I work with is Ryan Richardson. He happens to run one of the CDCs here in Shasta County. I believe there are still 2 CDCs in Redding, Shasta County that will help you with these loan programs. The thing I also liked about this program was that Ryan and the CDC at Superior California Economic Development would help not only the application to the SBA portion of this loan, but help the bank it was working with on the other half of the portion. So in other words, you didn't have to do a bunch of paperwork twice. Ryan's firm belief was customer service comes first. I'll copy all the needed information, make sure it gets to the bank that's doing their portion. So you don't have to be traveling around like a crazy person. He knows all the banks and financial institutions in the Shasta County area that can do these 504 loans with him and with the CDC and SBA. It's fantastic, okay? The amount of paperwork is funny. When they brought these computers into life, right, into existence, they told us, I mean, I'm talking back in the 80s now, and mid 90s or mid 80s. They said, well, we're going to get rid of paper. No, I don't need any paper anymore. Well, I'll tell you what, that's only partially correct. As I mentioned before, I think early on, when I used to do these back in the 70s, we had to package these things up and we had to mail them off, okay? Certified mail, registered mail, get them down to the SBA. I think at that particular time, I worked for Bank of America at that time. And at that particular time, we had to mail everything to San Francisco, no matter where we were in the North State. So as you can see, and you could probably surmise, the time of getting these done took a while. Computers came about. Boy, that's cut down the time on these dramatically. There's still some time needed to put these packages together. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking 3 to 6 months back in the old days. All right, 3 to 6 months. That's cut down dramatically these days because of these computers, right? So typically, how does this thing work? 50% of your project cost total is put together and done by a lender. It's called a third-party lender. So it'd be a bank. Up here it'd be a bank, because we only really have banks up in Shasta County that do these things. And a lot of good ones. Even B of A and Wells does these, okay? And we have some local banks that do them really well as well up here in Shasta County. So 50% of the project, third-party lender puts it together. You will have 2 loan payments. Something to keep in mind, okay? You're going to make a payment to the bank, and you're going to make a payment through the SBA CDC. Okay, so you have two loans. Okay, the SBA back portion of the 504 will be a second mortgage on that building, financing up to 40% of the project. So there's 50% for the bank, 40% SBA back portion. That's 90% of your project. How about that? So that only means you got to come up with, most of the time, 10% of your investment. Now, there are certain types of projects that will require 15%. There are a few, if you want to do the program, that will require 20%. Okay. That's why you talk to the CDC and me to find out what project you're doing and what you will qualify for. But if you're buying office space, office buildings, I just finished up a doctor in our area that did a 504 to buy a professional building. Those work perfectly. The 504, fantastic. Okay. The more multi-usable the building is, in other words, I think Carrie's already answered a question about whether or not, let's see, what did I see here? Laundromat. Is a laundromat allowable? Carrie said it was. In some cases, believe it or not, certain gas stations are allowable. Okay. Certain types of storage unit projects are doable. Okay. Especially if the owner lives there. Okay. So all of these get run by me. I contact the appropriate CDC with the basics here. Again, I don't charge you anything to do this, right? It's basically my background being used for the good of the people in this area. That's what I love about my job. So I review it. If I have questions, I contact the CDC, contact Ryan and say, hey, Ryan, I got a gentleman or a person who wants to do this. Okay. And we say, what is it doable? Is it not doable? The whole thing. Okay. And yes, you're right. Typically, the business has to be in business for 2 years or more. Very difficult for a startup unless there's a super amount of capital involved to get a 504. So here's what it looks like. Kind of, I like pictures. I'm an old picture guy. I used to like Life magazine. How about that, huh? That went away years ago. So here's the picture. 50% of the loan project a bank carries, 40% CDC, in this case, I used SCED, 10% down by the business owner. Man, that's sweet. This is one of the best and lowest interest rate or down payment required and interest rate project loans in America, period. So this is what I like to look at first if you're wanting to buy a building, okay? Because of this wonderful program. The other thing is this 40% SBA CDC portion is fixed rate long-term. That's cool. What I mean by long-term is 20, 25 years, okay? 20, 25-year long-term fixed. Rates have gone up. Don't get me wrong. They were lower last year, okay? But you know, I was around in 84, 82, 83 when the interest rates were 18% during the crazy inflation rates of the early 80s. And so, you know, if it gets to the point where it's 7, 8%, 6, 7, 8%, hey, that's not that bad, okay? Yeah, it's not 3% anymore, but that was not slow, right? It was great if you got it a year and a half ago, sure, fantastic, right? You're in it's like the real estate loans. I talk to a lot of people and they say, I have a 2.75 30-year fixed. Stay there, baby. You know, you're not going to get one now. So, but you know, it's all general. So interest rates are good. And the 40% of this project is fixed long-term. The 50% to the bank is a long-term amortization payment, but normally it's renewed every 5 years at the, you know, whatever the interest rates are. Okay. So right now, not a bad idea to get the rate. In 5 years, it may be less. You never know, right? Who knows the future? Main thing is you can get in for 10%. Down for the project. That's what's sweet. Okay, that's what's sweet. A $2 million project, 200 grand. That's your piece of the pie. That's something. It's really fantastic. That, like I say, I promote heck out of this loan program simply because it's great. Can't beat great. Any questions? Like Carrie's been answering them like crazy. Well, look at her go. If you want to check the chat, she's been talking about all sorts of things. The one I liked was about the fact that you can have a 7A and a 504. That's very good. 7A program's the other main program SBA offers. Which is also a part of the microloan program, right? So it's all kind of attached. The microloan program, I call it the quickie loan. That's great for startups. It really gives an opportunity because the banks right now are a little bit finicky on startups, okay? And rightfully so. It's a crazy time to be starting a business. Just because of what's going on. Inflation, it's down to 4%. It's still high, okay? It's no longer 8, but it's still 4% inflation as of May. So that means prices are still going up. So, you know, things are happening. All right, so let's go on to a quick review. Basic structure. Loan is for the purchase, build out of owner-occupied business properties. Okay, you got to be using the majority of that building for your business. And then, of course, you can, you know, lease out some of the other stuff, make some side money. It can include business, lower down payments in many cases than most conventional loans. That's pretty cool. The 10% down. Long-term financing fixed for at least 40% of that loan. Yeah. And low competitive rates. Low competitive rates. That's the coolest right now. Because let's face it, interest rates are high. Or higher than they have been. They're not high, but they're higher than they have been. Okay. So what are the benefits to you as a business owner on this particular loan program? Owner's best friend. Okay. This doctor is so pleased, for instance, the one I just got done working with. She was smiling ear to ear. Okay. She's got a beautiful building, newly painted, new carpet inside the building. She's going to ready to grand open first week of July. First week of July. And she's got several other doctors working with her. Okay. So she's as happy as a clam. It's in an area where a lot of other medical businesses exist. And the building was in great shape and sitting vacant. Dude, okay? So protection against rising rates, access to capital markets without high cost, increase owners' return on income and property purchase. In other words, you're going to be able to take advantage of any property increases in value, okay? Lower down payments, huge. That's a big key. Below market interest rates and no balloon payments. That's important. That's important. Because you don't, if you're buying a building and you think you're going to make this your home for your business for an extended period of time, you don't want to have to face a big mess down the road. Okay. Why do the lenders like it? Because the lenders have to, enjoy what they're getting themselves into as well. Lenders' risk is mitigated. In other words, if you put 10% down and the bank carried the 90%, so who's holding the bag if something goes wrong? 90% of the risk is in the bank's hand. But in this particular case, it's split. 50% of the risk is the bank, 40% CDC SBA, and you have the 10%. So it's a split risk, isn't it? Okay. And in this particular case, the CDC manages the application process, so you don't have to fill out a bunch of stuff twice. Okay. Reduced hassle and paperwork because the CDC and the banks work like this together. Okay. And I can tell you right now that I've seen Ryan work 10, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night getting paperwork ready. That's how committed these people are, okay, to getting the job done. It's such a fun process too. I mean, let's face it, when I went to meet with my doctor, that bought the building a couple of weeks ago, I mean, when you see a business owner smile ear to ear and can't take it off their face, man, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't, okay? Show the lenders really care for the client's best interest, no doubt about it, because like I say, it's a heck of a program. And they're going to bring it up. All the financial institutions in Shasta County know what the 504 is. Some are more direct lender savvy than others, okay? But everybody knows about the 504, okay? Neat deal. Can keep the process centralized, assist with relationship with the client. You really become known by not only the CDC, but the bank that's processing their portion of the loan. You have an automatic team on your side, okay? And let's face it, a business building, a place that your business can call home, the gain of all the write-off capabilities of the interest you're paying, et cetera, towards your corporation or LLC, the benefits of knowing it's yours, okay, that it's yours. That's huge. I mean, that's absolutely huge. It's like buying a house for a person that's been renting. Same thing. It's yours, right? You want to do something, you want to fix it, paint it, whatever, go ahead. You know, there's things you can do to that you can't do to a rental property. A lot of things. Okay. Any questions we'd like to cover? Carrie, you've done a bunch. Are there any in there that would be great for the entire group to hear?
Hi, Joe. There are a couple questions and a couple additional pieces of information I'd like to share for the small businesses joining us today. First of all, I took a quick look, and the current, and that is as of today, June 13th, 2023. So if you are watching this recording, this may not be accurate information at that time, but the proposed current rate for the 504 10-year loan is at 4.36, and the 20 and 25-year loans are at 4.98. That is out there and available for your information with the CDCs. And a data point for you on that is that today, again, June 13th, 2023, prime rate's at 8.25. So you can see there is a benefit to your small business in terms of that purchase price with that second payment of the 504 debenture. Another thing that's different about the 504 debenture is it closes and you know the rate when your project loan closes. So you will be able to speak with the CDC and they'll give you a rate like I gave you today, and they'll give you a general idea of what ballpark those rates are in. They don't change dramatically. There's historical information that they can show you. So it's a little confusing to businesses when someone says, oh, we'll tell you how much the interest rate is when we close your loan on this real estate transaction. So you do have some good data points to look at to determine what that payment is, and they'll give you an idea of that payment. The other thing on commercial real estate, the current rate, again, June 13th, 2023, for those of you watching the recording, is anywhere between 5.88 and 18% on commercial real estate. So that's dependent on the lender's appetite and your credit eligibility requirements. So those things are not necessarily sure answer that I'm giving you today, but you certainly will be aware of that when you work with your bank on that first note. And again, with the CDC on the SBA debenture. The last thing that I did want to point out is, although there are no prepayment or there are no balloon payments on a 504 loan, there can be a prepayment penalty if you choose to pay that loan off before 3 years. So let's say you're in the building for a couple of years and just things are going gangbuster and you want to pay that off. There will be prepayment penalties on those anywhere from 5% to 3%, and it rotates down from 3 to 5 years. So please do keep that in mind as you take this out. And the last piece that I want to clarify for you all is this is an economic development program. The 504 program was designed for small businesses that are growing to have this benefit of accessing their own real estate and not having a lease. And part of that is for that 40% of the debenture, for every $75,000, you need to create or retain one full-time equivalent. And that's what the CDC's process is they will monitor that you are able to meet that requirement for economic development of the 504 loan. So I just wanted to clarify those two items. And then I had a question from Daniel about our specific SBA guidelines and things that we're doing to assist small businesses, what is going to make it easier. And it's a long list of things. So Daniel, I'm gonna direct you to sba.gov /initiative/equity and initiative again. So if you go to sba.gov and you ask for that specific information, there's a few pages there for you, and I would not be able to go over those in detail with you today, but they certainly are available for your information. Joe, that's all I had to add to the questions, unless any new ones have come up.
Fantastic, Carrie.
Let's see.
She's got so much information. It's wonderful having her on board.
Yes, the 504 program is applicable to business structures. You would need to work directly with your lender and the CDC to determine if you meet those requirements. And as far as the 504 Green program, the 504 program goes up to $5 million. If you meet a public policy goal or the green requirements, which again, there's a lot of opportunity within that area of green, meeting green expectations, either on public policy or through what the state has, you can go for that debenture up to $10 million. So that does expand the size of the project. But again, there's very specific things that you would want to look at on our website and review in terms of what opportunities are available for you here in California in that green area.
Outstanding. Outstanding. And now we have, and you're going to be all receiving a copy of this, so you don't have to memorize or, whatever, screenshot this stuff.
Yes, Oksana just put that link in there correctly. Thank you, Oksana. I was having difficulty expressing how to find that information for the initiatives.
Oh yeah, there it is, super. So here's again the Chamber of Commerce websites for our local area up here in Shasta and Trinity County. Our procurement technical assistance, it's changed names recently. It was PTAC, PTAC. Easiest way, you can still find it under PTAC. Superior California Economic Development, again, one of the CDCs here in Shasta County. SCORE, the Shasta Economic Development Center, Smart Center, VBOC, Women's Business Center. We have a great one. It's only about a block from our office. And now Nina, I think, is running the show after Trish retired, little devil. And but Nina's fabulous. And we work together all the time. SBDC, Women's Business Center, we kind of work in tandem because they know stuff sometimes I don't know and vice versa. So we really, really keep each other moving. And again, next steps, if you want to do one-on-one counseling and then, talk to me direct, right, about your situation. And if you're in the Shasta, Trinity, Siskiyou County areas, there we go, www.sbdcsc.org. Sign up for our free services. That way we can, continue to offer this free advice. We'll set up an appointment. Emily will help you. Get you in here, or I can do Zoom, call, in person, whatever. So pretty cool. If you're not in your area, if you're outside of Siskiyou, Shasta, and Trinity counties, americassbdc.org, you can find your office that's local to you. I wish we could help you, obviously, but if you're in LA or San Francisco, they're going to know about your general area more than I do, okay? So it's easier and better to talk to your geographic zone people because they'll know what's going on in your area. I don't, okay? And then there's all our little proud things. We got our LinkedIn, our Facebook, our Twitter, and our wonderful YouTube channel where this particular event will now be placed, along with hundreds of other webinars in the last 2 years since COVID hit. And you'll see my bald head on several of them. And I love teaching, so that's why I do it. Any last questions before we call this a day?
I don't see any, Joe. Very
good. Emily, are you going to send
yeah, so the survey I put in the chat, so if you guys could fill that out, that helps us know how we did today, how we can improve, all that stuff.
Excellent. And please do let us know. We want to know what you want. I mean, that's it. We've done credit classes. We've done how to pay EIDL payments because everybody was having a little trouble getting through the website. We did that in December because everybody was getting notifications that their disaster loans payments are due. Yeah. So we want to make sure you're not late on the first payment. And so we did that. That was great. A lot of people had got their automatic set up. So we do lots of classes, marketing, you name it. So, and they'll be on that YouTube channel, that's for sure. All righty. Well, thank you, Carrie, Oksana, Emily, everybody for helping out this morning. Fantastic event. I hope you got something out of it. And you have a great day. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
And yes, we will send you a link to the recording as well for those who attended.